Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Cover with me, Jeremy Pyers.
And presenting Campfire.
And Callan made it here with us this evening. And welcome everybody in chat and shalom. Excuse me. Still getting over this cold a little bit. Been doing it much better, but symptoms still pop up here and there. But prayers for healing and blessings for Sister Wendy. Shalom, Sister Pepper. Welcome. Andrea, welcome. Shalom. Welcome. Alicia says hi. he gets excited. So, shalom and welcome, Robert. Glad you all can make it here this evening. So, we'll be reading from Romans in chapter 13 and 14 this evening. And we're just continuing to go over Paul's writings. Yeah, they always have energy, children. So, all right, let's jump right into the reading here. Make sure it's all good. Yep. All right. So, Romans chapter 13. And we're just going to do some reading and studying. Excuse me. So, from the Scriptures 98, ISR 1998, Romans chapter 13. Let every being be in subjugation to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from Elohim, and the authorities that exist are appointed by Elohim. So he who opposes the authority withstands the institution of Elohim, and those who withstand shall bring judgment on themselves. For those ruling are an object of fear, not to do good works, but to evil. Do you wish to be not afraid of the authority? Do the good, and you shall have praise from it. So, we'll explain this part a little bit. So what he's saying here is basically follow the laws that are put in place as long as they don't go against the Torah, such as, driving the speed limit, having a driver's license and insurance, etc., all that to drive, all those things. Like, it's not against Torah to have them. But if they start doing like totalitarian and authoritarian, like all kinds of stuff, making you bow, no, absolutely not. That's not what this is talking about. For it is a servant of Elohim to you for it is a servant of Elohim to you for good. But if you do evil, be afraid. For if it does not bear the sword in vain, for it is a servant of Elohim, a revenger, to execute wrath on him who practices evil. Therefore, it is necessary to be subject, not only because of wrath, but also because of the conscience. So basically, just follow the law. Like, don't go around robbing, stealing, committing murder, like, etc. For because of this you also pay taxes, for they are servants of Elohim, attending continually to these duties. Render to all what is due to them. Tax to whom tax is due, toll to toll to who toll, fear to whom fear, and respect to whom respect. So that's exactly what is render unto Caesar what is Caesar. It does. That doesn't mean just bow down to every command of the government. This is saying, just follow the laws. As long as they don't break Torah, you're all good. If they're trying to force you to bow down to some crazy gods and forcing you to not worship our Elohim, that's something different. And remember, we should pray for our leaders. Alright, where was I? Sorry, Callan distracted me. It's alright. Render therefore to all what is due to them. Oh, sorry, I read that. Owe no one any matter except to love one another. For he who loves another has filled the Torah. For this you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, you shall not covet. And if there is any other command, is summed up in this word: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no evil to a neighbor. Therefore, love is completion of the Torah. So you see that? Love one another. Love your neighbor. Who's our neighbors? Everybody. Everybody is our neighbor. Especially those living around us. And do this, knowing the time, that it is already the hour for us to wake up from sleep. For now our deliverance is nearer than we did believe. And this is so more true today. Excuse me. The night is far advanced. The day has come near. So let us put off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Let us walk becomingly, as in the day, not in wild parties and drunkenness, not in living together and indecencies, and not in fighting and envy. So, walk as becoming as in the day, because we are sons and daughters of light. And of course, no wild parties, no drunkenness. Don't be living together with your unmarried partner that you're not married to. Do what's right in the eyes of Yah. Don't fight and don't envy each other. There's too much fighting, and this last one, fighting and envy, there's a lot of that going around in the body, sadly. And it shouldn't be. People fighting over, whose watch is telling the right time. People fighting over seats. Really. Excuse me. Be put on the Master, Yahusha Messiah, and make no provision for the lust of flesh. Alright.
You can see my panda here, and it says Yahweh was what he's holding, but you can't see that.
You can't really see it on camera, actually. Yeah, it says he wrote Yahweh in Paleo Hebrew. Hold on, let's see. I don't know if it's going to show it. What the heck?
Because of the light.
Yeah, it's because of the light. I don't know. It's his little stuffed bear.
His name is Pandy.
Hey, shalom and welcome, Kendall. Glad you can make it, sister. And prayers and blessings And prayers for healing and lifting up for you as well, you and your family, Kendall. We should pray for the leaders that aren't human. I mean, if they're not human. This is talking about, you know, I know what you're talking about there. Imprecatory prayers only. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I gotta watch out for those lizards. Them Nephilim. As in the days of Noah, there are Nephilim walking about and around as we speak. There's chimeras as we speak. There's everything written of in scriptures is happening as we speak. It's we're in the last minutes, basically the last hours, minutes. It's close. It's close. All right. Yeah.
Let's get back.
Awesome. So, we'll get back to the reading here.
Just like I said.
Yes, just like you said. What would I do without my little assistant, huh? All right. So, Romans chapter 14. And receive him who is weak in the belief, not criticizing his thoughts. That's very important. One indeed believes to eat all food, but he who is weak eats only vegetables. Interesting, huh? You know why? I hate to say it, but veganism, vegetarianism, all that. This is the NWO agenda diet made to malnourish us. But he who is weak eats only vegetables. It says it right here. So all this veganism and vegan diets being promoted in the community, ignore it. It is not of scripture at all. And this is not saying indeed one that believes he eats all food, like, because unclean animals and shellfish and all that is not food. He did not consider those food. What he's talking about is one who eats all food, like meat and vegetables, not unclean food like pork or shellfish. That's another thing they like to twist and say, oh, look, it says one who believes eats all food. Well, yeah, because he didn't consider swine and shellfish food. He that eats, let him not despise him who does not eat. And he that does not eat, let him not judge him who eats. For Elohim received him. So, what's this saying? It's not saying, well, if someone wants to be a vegan, you know, that's their choice. That's between them and Yah. Even though right here it says, you know, it's really not good for us, but we shouldn't put them down or bash them because of what they eat. And the same thing, the opposite. You know, people shouldn't be bashing people who choose to eat meat. It's not up to them to decide what someone else gets to eat. Like, it's not up to anybody to decide anything for anyone else. Like, mind your business, basically. To an extent. Like, don't let your brothers and sisters stumble and fall. But who are you that judges another's servant? To own his master he stands or falls, but he shall be made to stand, for Elohim is able to make him stand. And I just want to go back to verse 1 here for just a moment. And receive him who is weak in belief and not criticizing his thoughts. So, unfortunately, I see this a lot in the community as well, you know. People bashing and pounding others over the heads because they're a little further behind on that length of the walk. And, you know, we shouldn't be bashing or condemning anybody. Like, it's not our position to condemn people like that. We cannot judge people and say you're going to heaven or you're going to hell, like whatever. That's not for us. We're not to question people's beliefs or make them feel, you know, low. That's not any way to act, honestly. But you know, people hate on the name, people hate, and it works both ways. There's just a lot of criticism in the body of believers towards each other, and it shouldn't be like that. All right, so one indeed judges one day above another, another judges every day alike. Let each one be completely persuaded in his own mind. He who minds the day minds it to Yahweh, and he who does not mind the day to Yahweh, he does not mind it. He who eats to Yahweh, and for he gives Elohim thanks. And he who does not eat to Yahweh, he does not eat, and gives Elohim thanks. For not one of us lives to himself, and not one dies to himself. For both, if we live unto the Master, and if we die unto the Master. Therefore, whether we live or die, we are the Master's. 100%. Win or lose, we're still we're still Messiahs. We're still Yahweh's. For unto this Messiah died and rose and lived again, to rule over both the dead and the living. But why do you judge your brother? Or why do you despise your brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Messiah. For it has been written, As I live, says Yahweh, every knee shall bow to me, and every tongue shall confess to Elohim. Each one of us, therefore, shall give account of himself to Elohim. Therefore, let us not judge one another any longer, but rather judge this, not to put an obstacle or a stumbling block in our brother's way. You know, people might not realize what a stumbling block could be to their brother or sister, and we don't want to make our brothers and sisters stumble. And like anything can be a stumbling block, really. An obstacle or a stumbling block. And, you know, if it's hurting someone's feelings or making someone upset, it's probably a stumbling block. So we should do our best to avoid them. Excuse me. I know and am persuaded in the Master Yahusha that none at all is common of itself, but to him who regards whatever to be common, to him it is common. And if your brother is grieved because of your food, you are no longer walking in love. Do not by your food ruin the one for whom Messiah died. Excuse me. So this one is it's a bit tricky. But if your brother is grieved because of your food, you're no longer walking in love. So what exactly does that mean? So do not by your food ruin the one for whom Messiah died. And this could have several meanings, honestly. But in my interpretation, I take it as, if what you are eating, is unclean and is not considered a food, like, and then your brothers and sisters all just see that you're sitting back eating like lobster and leg of pork, whatever. Like it's gonna cause some questions and some things to start. So, I mean that's my interpretation of it. I mean there could be several interpretations. Feel free to give yours in the chat or comments. And do not then allow your good to be spoken of as evil. For the reign of Elohim is not eating and drinking, but righteousness and peace and joy in the set apart spirit. For he who is serving Messiah in these matters is well pleasing to Elohim and approved by men. So then, let us pursue the matters of peace and the matters for building up one another. Do not destroy the work of Elohim for the sake of food. All indeed are clean, but evil to that man who eats, so as to cause stumbling. I mean, I guess if someone doesn't like a certain type of food or something, and you offer it to them, don't take offense if they don't eat it or take it. It is good not to eat meat or drink wine, nor do whatever by which your brother stumbles. So it could also just be talking about the vegetarianism and veganism as well. This line right here. So it's just like, if someone's trying to quit drinking, you're not going to bring over a bottle of wine and say, oh, or whatever, and be like, oh, let's drink. Or even drink in front of them, because that's going to definitely put a stumbling block. Same thing, I guess, if someone's decided they want to only eat vegetables, like, don't bring over a bunch of steaks. Just if they invite you over, just eat their vegetables. Yeah, vegetables are healthy. But basically, just don't do anything that causes your brother to stumble. So if someone has a problem with something, if they're struggling, say with, sweets and sugar or something, don't come bringing over a cake. If they're, if they're trying to get off, let's say, like soda or something, don't bring over like a 2 liter of Dr. Pepper or whatever. Like that kind of stuff. So do you have belief? Have it to yourself before Elohim. Blessed is he who does not condemn himself in what he approves. But he who doubts, if he eats, is condemned, because it is not of belief. And all that is not of belief is sin. Bam. Excuse me. All right, all right. Oh, looks like we got some spammers. Thank you, moderators. Let's see. Lizard, lizard, lizard.
Yeah, if
We're commanded to eat lamb on the Passover. Yeah, exactly. The lamb is literally in the instructions of precisely how to cook and prepare everything as well, written in scripture. Presumptuous clothing, exactly. And you know, speaking of that, you know that's just abound nowadays. It's all over the place, everywhere you look.
so when someone tries to kill you and they're a demon person, and the other person and the demon is trying to kill, and it's a Yahoo person, just kill them back.
Thank you, Callan. Don't serve me peas, I won't eat them. Yeah, I mean, so basically, what he's saying here is just love your neighbors, love your brothers and sisters, don't hate, don't fight, don't mock somebody, don't hate somebody or bash them on their head because they're still a little bit behind on the path. You know, we're all on different lengths on the same path. So if they're a few lengths behind, that's fine. They don't need to get bashed on, otherwise that's gonna make them even more behind. And
Press that button.
bots or a lizard, yeah, or both. A lizard bot. Yeah.
Make sure
Exactly.
make sure you press that button.
I mean, the lizard probably sent them out anyway. I only see them on scriptural videos, really. I mean, there's trolls and such, but these guys, I don't know. But I'll be reporting them as well. Thank you. All right, awesome. Thank you all for joining me this evening. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Remember, test everything to his word. The Deuteronomy 13 test, 12 and 13. Follow no man. Test every spirit. All right. Alicia is wired over here. we bought her a frappuccino. Yeah. Yeah, not a good idea.
Heart.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you all. What's that?
A heart.
Oh.
Even though you can't see it, it's a heart shaped for Yahweh. Make sure you give a heart to Yahweh.
Yes.
And make sure you know Yahweh.
Exactly. Know Yahweh. All right. Thank you all for joining me. Have a good evening. Have a blessed week. Shalom. Shalom. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you. Love you all.
Love you too.